Hey, what's going on? This is Joe Castro, and you are now listening to A Millennial's Third Eye, the podcast. In the last episode, I shared a lot of different things with you, especially around the authentic self and surrender and being present and really embracing that. And if you haven't listened to that, I highly recommend, I have to recommend it, right? I recommend you listen to the first one so that way you kind of like connect the second one. This is season 2, and I want to thank everyone for listening to season 1, season 2, and just listening in general. Thank you for your support. Thank you for enjoying this. It's really nice to hear from others what you connect or resonate with. And again, if you listen to episode 1, you know that I said it's really not about the outcome. You know, it's about showing up, loving yourself, loving what you do, and removing that part of the formula. Like I was saying, well, my spirit and intuition was saying, hey, don't worry so much about the results. You know, it's more so about giving your all and giving and not really anticipating any return. It's about just giving and energetically giving, creating, if you will. In this episode, I really want to emphasize more on your happiness. This is what's been on my mind. Happiness and really enjoying your life and those moments that you're in and what that entails. You know, recently I've been thinking about this, and I find it interesting that we're always kind of waiting for some sort of entertainment, right? Whether it's a movie, a concert, plans that you're making, we're waiting to go or do something, or even to have something to then go, wow, I was so happy and I had a great time type of thing, right? But in your everyday life, I don't know about you, but I am someone who has been complicating things for so long that I'm like, no, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to complicate it. I just want to be fully present, aka episode 1 of season 2. So what I'm saying here is, right, we or I have shared this before, we talked about it before, where we have this sense of security, right? We need something to get done, or we need to have something accomplished in order to feel whole and secure. Oh, I can't be happy until then. I won't be happy. It's never going to be enough. I always have to have some goal. And that's that whole like insecurity, security thing, you know. And when you finally get this thing that you're wanting, it might be in the moment, you're like, all right, cool. I feel great. I've done this. But I really want to focus on happiness, where it's almost like this concept or thoughts where I'm not enough yet to show up, or I'm not happy enough with myself to then be like, all right, I've got my degrees and my colleges and stuff, and I've got my trophies and awards. Now I feel pretty good about showing it. You know, like we don't need that. And keep in mind, like everything starts somewhere. We all have to start somewhere. And in my mind, you know, I've been thinking about my past experiences, which I feel like we need to let go of the past experiences, but I reference them a lot in my mind. And maybe this is needed to be talked about because maybe you also have a reference point where you're like, wow, things were great here and I'd like to do that again. Or life was great then. How can I replicate that? And there's pros and cons to referencing your past, but the point here that I'm saying is that, especially for me, you know, I remember getting to a point where I just like, I didn't, in a great healthy way, I didn't care anymore. I didn't care what anyone thought. I didn't care what the outcome, like I faced the fear of that, if you will. And what I'm really trying to bring to the table right now in this conversation is, or this topic, is that what are we really waiting for? I think we're, including myself, I was thinking about this, we're waiting for this moment, for some sort of sign. Universe, give me a sign. And then you get like all these signs, but you like miss them. You're like, no, that's not a signy sign. I need like a real sign, you know, like something that shocks my soul. But we're always looking for some proof or validation that, you know, the universe is giving you the go ahead, do this, and you just need to do it. Like you just need to do it, right? And sometimes I think that, I don't know about you, but I'm someone who is trying to fill this moment of like, maybe I'll read a book, maybe I'll do this. And what I found for myself is that it's not always these things, even though they might be temporarily good. It's really that we're just avoiding the one or few things that we really want to do. And that could be because of different reasons. That can be because, your past experiences weren't the best, and so they're like entangled in that, and so you're like afraid to step into it, or you think you need something to be that person. And the truth is, we can always be this version of ourselves that's really happy and that is stepping into these projects or these things that we really want to do. And keep in mind, like, we have to, what do we have? So wait, all right, we're at the point where we're going to discuss, like, what do we do now, right? Well, what do I do, Joe? And that's a great question, isn't it? I think that's a lot of the things that we deal with. It's like, all right, yeah, me too. I feel the same way, but what do I do about it? Great questions. Thanks for asking. It reminds me of a video I did recently, not too long ago. I have this, we'll get back to it. I have ADD. So I have this pet peeve of these like corny TikTok or short videos where people are faking a podcast and they're talking to they're talking to no one, but they're trying to promote something. They're like, people don't even realize how great this product is. And you're like, I know you're talking to yourself and you're trying to make this look super important, but it's not. You can't lie. My intuition is aware of your scenario. I mean, I'm talking to myself on this podcast right now, but this is it's giving it out to people to listen to. But you get what I'm saying? That they're just trying to seem like they're talking to someone on a podcast, and they just clip the clip, and they're talking to no one but themselves, trying to sell something. You know what I mean? Anyways, what do we do? What do we do knowing that we have these issues? Where do we start? In the last episode of season 2 here, we're at episode 2, but I started with just being still with myself, right? I'm going to give you some stuff that you can practice. It's being still with myself. And in that scenario, you cannot avoid yourself anymore. You're not trying to avoid your inner being, if you will. Your inner being, in my perspective, it's a part of you. Your outer being is what's experiencing your reality, and your inner being is holding not only your connection to Source, God, Creator, but also your emotions and thoughts and processing. So there's two parts of you in this perspective and how you are experiencing your reality, right? And your inner being is important because it's the one that you need to really connect with and ask the right questions to, and also just listen and feel. And so I couldn't, not that I couldn't avoid anymore. I was in a situation or scenario that really like gave me this opportunity to be like, let me sit with myself. And naturally I wanted to go do other things. And I was like, no, I'm not going to do this anymore because it's uncomfortable. And as some of you may have heard, being uncomfortable is really where that growth is. You have to like sit with it, and eventually like it breaks and you're like, oh, wow. So I recommend that, right? And the other practice is we're going to have to like be conscious of these things, conscious and emotionally conscious. And the other things I really recommend, especially what I've been doing, is really asking myself, what is holding me back? Or what is it that I'm really needing to be aware of to break the chains, if you will? Sometimes we have to remember you need to let go of the judgment, right? What are people going to think? What if I fail? And hold those things and really process them. What does it matter what anyone thinks? And this is where I want to intertwine that happiness, is because what makes you happy might not make me happy, but we can still get along. You can still thrive in your passions and do what you want to do. And I firmly believe that this society or this time in our life that we're living, we have been so kind of illusioned, if you will. I like saying that, if you will, that we're reconditioning our mindset. And this is really, what is this really getting to? This is about finding out who you really are. I think that's the journey of a lifetime. That's the best thing. Discovering who you are. And I think that what I'm saying about judgment is, you are letting go of this persona of the role that you're playing, and also this limiting belief. Like, yeah, we all have, not everyone, but we have people that we surround ourselves with that see us as we are. And what if we go off this path and become a different version of ourselves? I think that's pretty much the goal here, isn't it? You're becoming the version within you that's authentic, that's free, that's happy, but you have to break these internal struggles of the role you've been playing, because you're going to basically, like, let's say it, you're going to come out of left field with a lot of great stuff. And what's going to happen? People are going to not like that you are happy. I mean, they're not going to straight out say it, but they're not, the reality is, if you want to use the word matrix here, the system doesn't want you to break free. But in the same token, your reality is what you create. So you are in some way, internally and externally in your experience, breaking free of that loop, that pattern, that fear, that obstacle. So it's going to somewhat play out in some cases in your reality with people, because you're being challenged at that point. You're being challenged. All right, do I want to stay stuck, or do I want to face this fear? And you can face it calmly. I'm not saying you have to go all out and just be like, I don't care what you did. But you can be calm about it, but not be affected by it, and be aware of it and rise above it. So this conversation we're having right now, even though you're listening, and I'm just talking with myself at this moment, but you're listening. What does it take to be happy, right? So yes, there's the internal awareness. And then there's this understanding that people aren't going to like what you do. Like, it doesn't matter what people like or dislike. You're not going to please everyone. You have to remember that you're not here to please everyone. You can help, you can be of service, but you as an individual, the goal is to be happy with yourself, to do what you need or want or necessarily is important to you, with balance to, doing things that are right and that is right in your moral being, in your moral compass. Excuse me. And being happy. So I want to go back to what I was saying earlier, is that we seem to wait for these moments to then be happy, right? We wait for something to give us the go ahead, to be like, yes, this is a great experience. I'm now happy. But why can't we do that every day? Why can't we do that in every moment? And the real answer is, it's not that we can't, we can. And what is that like, to be happy in every moment? Are you going to be happy 24? No, but I mean, the goal is to really be fully present, be fully free, and you're becoming, or you will become, this different version of you that you have not really maybe embraced yet. Because what is that really, the word is, what does that really encompass? That encompasses this version of yourself that is free of limiting beliefs. It's free of judgment. It's free of, well, I don't care what you think, but this is what I believe. And that's where you're not fighting reality, and you're understanding also that what you believe is what you believe. So let's also talk about that. What do you believe? Being happy is also knowing who you are. It's knowing what you're capable of. It's knowing what you can and cannot do. But your beliefs create your reality. And in this system that we're living in, right, it wants you to believe in certain things so that you are limited to, and you're not thriving in your own reality and creating your own reality. You are limited. You are stuck. And there's no one to blame really but ourselves. And we can sit here and be like, oh, I can't believe they did that. Like, it's nothing about that. It's really about how you choose to step forward from this point. And what do you believe? And your belief, and the truth is, it goes back to your inner being of, well, you're not going to find everything in books. You're not going to find that validation in your reality 24/7. You're not going to get the thing that is going to make you whole to then go, okay, I'm happy now. You know what I mean? And this is the whole concept here of this conversation is not being, I'll be happy when. We want to thrive in every moment of raising our vibration. What does it mean to raise your vibration? Vibration. Good vibration. Being happy, right? On a conceptual scale of an idea of how this works. Low vibration is depression, sadness. It's not good, right? And the more we think, act, and feel, or do, and make decisions off of that placement, we're only getting more of, right? On a higher level of higher vibration is happiness, joy, peace. It's all the good things. The more we think and do and make decisions on that is the more we're going to get on that. Now, what is in between that? Well, I mean, in between, I'm not saying just neutral, like you're not happy or sad, but what's actually in between all of this, everything is a decision. I'm someone who loves timelines. What is timelines? Timelines is your reality and experiences shift based on a macro or micro scale of decisions. How do you feel when you make that decision? It's not this big picture of intention where it's like, I want to get here, so I got to make a decision that will jump me there. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to like quantum jump right now in this conversation. I'm just sharing the idea and understanding of decisions and timelines. Have you ever looked back on your life and you're like, wow, if I never did this or that, I wouldn't have met this person. I wouldn't have had this experience. But in a weird way, it almost like wouldn't have made sense previously when you're making those choices. But looking back, you're like, wow, that's crazy how that unfolded. Similar thing here. We don't need to know the whole picture, but we need to know in some cases what that decision feels like. You might actually be kind of like me where you want to make this decision. It feels good, but maybe you're overthinking it. Hello, my name's Joe and I'm the king of overthinking. You might overthink it, but you overthink it so much that you don't realize in that feeling, you got to ask yourself, am I just worried about something? Maybe I'm worried that it's not going to be perfect enough. Maybe I'm worried that it's not, I'm not in the right place yet. Or maybe I'm worried, no. The goal here is to break free of these patterns. Because if you're not ready now, you're never going to be ready. If you're not doing it now, you're never going to do it. So it's more or less, what does it take to be happy? And I'm a big fan of also starting off small. Make it really simple. When you wake up in the morning, ask yourself and try to break free of any patterns too of like, oh, I don't know. Give yourself some sort of leeway here. Like, do I want coffee? Ooh, what does that feel like? Oh, it feels good. It feels good. All right, I'm going to start with that. You don't have to do this all day, every day, but make decisions and be aware of how you feel doing that. It doesn't have to be this like bell that rings. It's like, whoa. By doing all this also and practicing this, how do I feel about it? You're actually multitasking here and facilitating this growth of spiritual awareness and intuition. How do I feel about that? And if you can actually conjoin this honesty with it too, you're not pressuring it. You're not overthinking it. You're not trying to get some result out of it. You're not people pleasing. You're being true to yourself about how you really feel about it. This is actually facilitating growth in your spiritual practice if you want to become more in tune with yourself or also in tune for others. You're being honest with yourself. And I think what complicates that is, it could be the old patterns of depression. It can also be the old patterns of the way you think, but it's kind of giving this gentle force, if you will, of, all right, no, let's actually practice this. Let's do it. And I think we're in a generation where we want a millennial, but whatever. I'm not saying all millennial, whatever, you know what I'm saying? But we want instant gratification. And especially in a world where we're like just scrolling through our phones, we got instant access to things, but some stuff just ain't happening the way it is as fast as we would want it. And we have to kind of let go of that and kind of give ourselves this grace period of, you know what, this is where I've been, this is where I'm at, and I love myself. Let's practice this. How do I feel doing this? And the more we show up doing this is actually super beneficial. I'm a big fan again of kind of going back to what I originally said because it kind of helps me in this conversation continue, right? So what is the goal here? The goal is to be happy and not just wait for something to happen. And I want to intertwine what I also mentioned in the first episode of season 2 here is being fully present. What does that mean to be fully present? Well, if you listen to episode, well, again, being fully present is you're not thinking about where you need to be, what you need to do. You're here in this moment with me, or you're here in this moment with, you're in the moment sharing it with a friend. Maybe you're by yourself. You're in this moment. You're not trying to control anything. You're not trying to force, the money to come. You're in this moment and you're happy to be in this moment. Your thoughts aren't distracting you. Your phone's not distracting you. Well, you could be in the moment too, enjoying something, right? And the real point about this is that you're not needing anything to be happy now. You're understanding that, well, I can't control how things happen. This kind of maybe something sucks. This sucks, but it's okay. Life goes on. And we have been shown or taught that when bad things happen, what do you think you're supposed to do? Oh, you're supposed to be really upset, because if you're not upset, you don't care. And that's not true. Internally, you can feel upset about something, but you don't necessarily have to express yourself the ways we think. If you want to or need to, then that's totally fine. But my point here is that we're taught and shown that we're supposed to act one way. We're supposed to do something. But in the present moment, I have this horrible nasal drip today. It's disgusting. In this moment, we're here now, right? And if you want my mindset right now, I'm creating this episode, but I'm not forcing perfection. I'm not forcing results. I'm here, I'm purely enjoying this moment, actually. Maybe I need to hear that. I'm enjoying this moment because it's actually, for me, I need to verbalize things as I'm thinking, and it helps me process. And I'm not really, I'm not overthinking this. I'm not trying to manipulate. I'm just enjoying what I have been thinking about, sharing it with you and talking about it. And I think we overthink things sometimes as to what, why, when, or how. And the goal here again is just to be happy, just to do it. Just do it. We're, especially in a world, oh man, this is a big topic too. And I'm sure you know exactly what I mean by this. It's multiple scenarios. We watch other podcasts. We watch other shows. We watch other people do things. We like it. Okay, we like it. What tends to happen sometimes in a bad way, I mean, it's not horrible, but it becomes a copy of a copy. You are not being yourself. You are copying what you liked, and you're doing something that you think is good, but now that's hindering you from growth because you're not really being your authentic self. You're not really bringing your full force to the table. Or someone just becomes a spitting image of their idol or something. There's nothing wrong with liking someone for what they do or what they're doing, but more so importantly, it's putting your own flair and really discovering who you are without trying to be something you're not, right? So again, the goal here is just to be happy. And I think it's interesting in this, I really want to add this. I'm glad it came up in my mind right now. No, don't go away. Where'd it go? No, come back. What was the thought? Oh yes. I'm sure you've heard it and it gets annoying, but you, my friend, are enough. It gets annoying, doesn't it? Because it's like, I know that I'm enough, but I just don't understand. What does that really mean? And again, I'm going to say this might be repetitive, but to be happy. Who would have thought, right? Really think about this. Who you are as you are, not only in this moment, but when you start to be free to be who you really are. What does that mean? What does that entail? That means you're going to say the silly things. You're going to do whatever you want to do. Because maybe for so much time you've limited yourself from being your true self that you're like, I don't, It's almost like I don't know what to do. But then when I guess the word is comfortable, being comfortable to be who you are and not care about these special moments. Well, I mean, enjoy the special moments, but being who you are is enough. And for so long, I believe I did mention this in episode 1, season 2, that we try to like kind of mask this without knowing, because we want people to like us. I want you to like me, so I'm gonna be proper and I'm gonna do things that hopefully I think you like. And that's the whole thing I was talking about before with this formula, is like, when you remove the results, when you remove who cares or who doesn't care, when you remove, I hope people like this, and you're just really thriving on your own happiness, being you, realizing how awesome you are, isn't that a really fun part of this journey? And I hope that I'm bringing you here right now. Embrace this. You, my friend, are awesome. But we give ourselves so many reasons to disbelieve in that. I guarantee you right now, I'll give you a couple seconds. Think about all the reasons why you're not awesome, or you don't have the thing you want yet, or whatever. You probably already have 3. Great. Now let's actually focus on all the reasons why you are worthy of having it, and you should believe in it in a positive thinking. And that's a little challenging, but when you start practicing this and you start doing it, like, you know what? I am funny, and I am smart, and I'm unique, and I'm different, over like 5 or 6 different ones, and you keep going, you're tipping that scale of your belief in your subconscious mind. But you're also going to start smiling and realizing, wow, why am I trying so hard to get what I want, when I'm actually worthy of it? And all I got to do is just keep embracing my awesome self. And this is all these practices I'm sharing with you. Tipping the scale of your belief in your subconscious mind is consciously thinking in genuine honesty, like, you know what? I am handsome. I am beautiful, whatever you want to add. And you keep going. You realize, like, you've been thinking unconsciously, maybe, that you weren't enough and you're trying too hard. Isn't that what we do a lot? We're like, oh, I'm going to try this thing, and then I hope it works, but it's not working the way you wanted to, and you're not getting the results you want to, because we're trying too hard. And somewhere hidden in our brain, we're like, oh, I'm not enough yet. I don't believe I'm enough. But when you start believing you are, and it's true that you are, you don't need to trick yourself. It's literally, like I've said this before, it's this fountain that just is going. It's a water fountain. You know what I mean? It's a beautiful fountain. But when, let's say it's even got lights on it, it's got cool lights on it. This is your fountain. It's got dope lights. It's really beautiful. People love it. But the more that you allow your reality to make you feel like you're not enough, a person that broke your heart, a job that you were let go of, or now you're shutting down that fountain, and now it's not, as high as it was, and now it's limiting. And we're all just waiting for someone to love us. We're all just waiting for someone to be like, you're amazing. But what does that what happens then? You're actually like, you don't really fully believe it. Maybe your fountain kind of jumps up a little bit with water. You're like, oh, wait, I still don't believe it. So we're really not ever going to believe anyone. It's almost like too good to be true. We're in a reality or experiences in this lifetime where it's like, what is too good to be true? In a relationship, it's actually where, like, a relationship is really great. It's healthy. It's what you haven't experienced yet, but we all seem to not believe in the good. One of my favorite thoughts recently, and I hope you practice this too, is anything can happen. Time is an illusion. Time is an illusion because this is the only moment happening. This is the present. The past is, it's happened, but we're in this moment. It's always going to be this straight line of, like, this moment. It's this moment. Time kind of gives us this illusion, like, we have to wait. But when you let go of this paradigm thinking, anything can happen. And I think that's a great way to think, because I've also practiced, this is going to turn out better than I can imagine. And it has. It's like, oh, I didn't see that happening, but it's really good. My point about all this is stop waiting for someone to validate you. Even though that validation might not be proof enough, I want you to internally embody you are awesome. And I want you to realize that truth. You don't need to prove that. This will really thrive your happiness because it doesn't matter how much money you have. It doesn't matter what kind of clothes you wear. It doesn't matter your fashion style. It doesn't mean what matters the most is you are fully free to be your silly, wild, funny, even if you're not that funny, whatever it is, like just thrive off of who you are and really overcome those obstacles of if someone's going to respond the way you want them to or not. Like if you think about this, most people are afraid to be themselves. Most people are afraid of doing the same thing. And that's why when you start freeing yourself in your reality, you might be challenged with that. And they're going to be like, whoa, their soul is like, how dare you know how to do that? Because I don't. It's on a metaphysical level. They don't realize what they're upset or uncomfortable with. They want to keep you on that level of, no, you can't be a higher vibrational being. How dare you? But the more you're confident in yourself, you're not going to be bothered by that. You're going to be aware of it because your light irritates them. But really, really thrive and shine and be free, because happiness, when you realize happiness isn't a destination, it isn't a moment of, I'll be happy when I get this. It's being you and thriving off of that. Not even like, maybe you enjoy caffeine, I enjoy it too, but it's learning to strengthen that energy organically without needing caffeine or something of a substance. Again, I like coffee, but my point here is that find your ways to thrive on your happiness and break free of these limitations and be like, you know what? I'm dope. I'm going to do what I want to do. You're making decisions. You're trusting your decisions. And even if it's the wrong decision, you're like, you know what? I'm going to learn something. It's your perspective. Don't be afraid of making decisions, trusting yourself more, and being okay with, you know what? If I do this and this is this way, it feels good to make this decision, but you don't need to know the whole outcome. And if it's not the outcome you would like, that's okay. The last thing I want to say in this episode that really just came to my mind, and it's really important, the flow of love. You know, the flow of love is, it's understanding that in your reality, right? And this is just my words on what I've thought about this. Your life, your reality is always changing. That's never going to stop. Day after day, there's going to be changes, and that's just accepting that that's what it is. But you're going to have people that come in and out of your life, maybe even a romantic relationship. But it's learning to be so present that you love this person, you love life, but you're not attached to it. And being attached to it is very unhealthy, because it's almost like this control of this outcome. It's learning to love someone for who they are, where they're at in their life, what they have or don't have. You love them for who they are, and remembering that we all are making decisions and choices based on what we think and feel we need at the moment. Whether that's good or bad, we understand that we're just a reflection of each other. We want to be understood. We want to be appreciated. We want to be loved. And it's learning to give that to people, because that's what also we are wanting in return. But really what I want to add to this and extend more on is being okay with the flow of this love that is going through your life. You're loving this moment and you're here in this moment, and it's not about what someone's doing or not doing. It's learning to just be and be okay with that, and not allow some sort of external thing to influence you where you need them to do something in order for you to be happy. It's learning to let go of expectations and control. It's loving them. You know what? That's okay. And I think these are difficult because we're so used to the mindset of, you did this and now you upset me. We're allowing others to interfere with our internal influence. But when you embody all of this, your detachment from people and things and material, and you're in this moment and you're present and you're learning to just thrive on your own happiness and not let even people, but more so the external world influence you, that is a very powerful thing. Hey, I want to thank you again for listening to season 2, episode 2 of A Millennial Dare Die. My name again is Joe LaCastro, and I really hope this benefits you. I really hope it resonates with you. I hope that somewhere in this episode, even if you come back and listen to it again another time, you evolve and you're like, wow, I didn't hear that before. Now I hear it again. My goal is always to share, because that's in my form of love, is sharing my thoughts and feelings, and hopefully it helps you, and I hope it does. And I hope somewhere in your journey you are enjoying this in some cases of unfolding, and it's not about the destination, it's about the journey, right? So again, thank you for listening, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.